Okay, so whoever's responsible for messing up Golden Axe better get ready to get an axe in the face. This is the SEGA Classics Collection on the PS2, and is not to be confused with the SEGA Genesis Collection on the same console, or the even awesomer Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection. I repeat, not to be confused. The SEGA Classics Collection is actually a 2005 repackaging of outsourced remakes of the games Alien Syndrome, Bonanza Brothers, Columns, Fantasy Zone, Golden Axe, Monaco GP, Outrun, Space Harrier, and Virtua Racing. These 3D-ized versions were actually released separately in Japan in 2003 and 2004 as part of the Sega Ages 2500 series, 2500 being the suggested price tag in Japanese yen. Now that's equivalent to about 8 tall cans of Asahi Super Dry, so I'll let you be the judge of that value. Now don't get me wrong, I'm definitely a fan of classic game compilations like Midway Arcade Treasures, Namco Museum, or Taito Legends, but this has some major issues. So let's get back to Golden Axe for a minute, a perfect example of how they managed to mess up some of these games. Granted, Golden Axe isn't known for having the tightest controls, it's kind of like a sluggish Streets of Rage, but hey, they're swinging around giant axes, give them a break. But the control in this remake is simply painful. Compound that with some bland 3D modeling and blam, golden crap. If you have the patience to play this version for more than a few minutes, you're more strong-willed than I am. And here's a look at Space Harrier, another arcade masterpiece. Now you'd think that the addition of 3D could add a lot to the perspective of this game, but it's like they just dumped a bunch of polygons onto the original sprites and called it a day. Throw on some bad trance in the background and blam! Space crappier. Alright, well that's a bit harsh, but you get the idea. And you can expect similar issues with the other titles. Except Columns, I guess. It's hard to mess up Columns. But some of these games are still definitely playable. Outrun is pretty cool, and I kinda enjoyed playing the new Alien Syndrome, especially with the PS2's dual analog sticks. But as Mark can attest to, anything with flamethrowers should at least be mildly enjoyable.
Thank you.
So if you're a fan of the originals, and classic arcade games in general, you'll probably be pretty disappointed by this compilation. Maybe even angry. I clearly remember excitedly picking this disc up for about $15 when it came out, expecting the real versions to be on there. But my memories after playing the SEGA Classics Collection for the first time are a bit hazy. I kinda remember some broken glass, and lots of yelling, and the smell of gasoline. It's all a blur after that, though. So consider this review more of a warning. Avoid these remakes, unless out of morbid curiosity. Otherwise, definitely go for the originals.